Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Robert Davis. Please welcome to another episode of Unboxed. I'm so glad to have you with us. Please do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe, and share button. If you are following us on Facebook and you have a subject that you would like for us to discuss, please make sure that you DM me so that we can incorporate it into our area of discussion. Or if you have a question, a relationship question of some sort, please make sure that you share that with me. You can also go to our website. We have a contact us form that you can fill out as well. We do want to hear from you. Today our conversation is going to be about how we support, or pastor support group, and why pastors need support. We're going to continue what we talked about yesterday. So stick around as we continue this very needed conversation. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. Hey everyone, again, I'm Dr. Robert Davis. So glad that you have joined us. So yesterday I began a conversation about pastors and how they need support. And I shared with you about my time serving as a pastor for over 22 years. Well, recently I have been working with executives and executive directors doing coaching and leading a peer support group. And today was one of the days that I led one of our support groups. And I'm going to be honest with you. In that meeting today, I said, wow, this is something that pastors really need. Our conversation went around appreciation. And a lot of these conversations are organic because it is a support group. But our conversation went around the area of appreciation. And I'll be honest with you, I started to get a little triggered because while I will say this, there are pastor appreciation days, depending on what denomination you're a part of or what church tradition you are a part of. You know, we have pastors appreciation, we have pastor anniversary. Matter of fact, the entire month of October is supposed to be pastor appreciation month. And then you have church anniversary, and some churches will celebrate your birthday as well as Christmas. So there are times during the year when, you know, the church will come together and say, hey, we really appreciate your work, pastor. But then a lot of pastors that I interact with, you know, talk about how it is such a thankless job. And so one of the things that we discussed today is, you know, how do we encourage our organizations? And that's what an executive would call it, their organization or their business. But we as pastors, of course, would be how do we encourage our congregation or help them to understand how to show us appreciation in a way that that speaks to us. And I'm not just talking about the 5 love languages. I'm going a little bit beyond just the 5 love languages and, you know, quality time, because, you know, when you're pastoring a church of 200 members, which is a pretty decent sized congregation, or if you're up there in the big boys with the 500, 700 on a weekly attendance, or 1,000, or really get up there in the big numbers, 5, 10, 15,000 that are showing up each and every week. You know, it's impossible to say, well, my love language is quality time, or my love language is words of affirmation, or whatever it may be, because it's difficult to have those one-to-one relationships with each member of our congregation to really kind of get that feedback. So, you know, how do I let my congregation know? And so it was really encouraging today as I was working through with executives about, you know, how we foster an atmosphere where appreciation and where we are allowed to share, you know, what constitutes appreciation for us, what constitutes thankfulness for us. And I said to myself as we were having this conversation, I remember being a pastor. I remember getting the birthdays and the Christmases and the pastors' appreciations and you know, those type of things. And I still remember saying to myself on many occasions, wow, this is a very lonely, thankless job. This is a very lonely, thankless job. One, there's no one really that you can talk to, because you have to remain, just like any executive, any leader, there has to maintain that level of differentiation from your congregation or from your organization. You can't be a boss and not maintain a certain amount of professional distance. And I'm not talking about relationship distance. I'm just talking about professional distance, because you are the leader. And man, leadership is lonely sometimes. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And so, how do we ask for that appreciation? How do we fill those loneliness voids? Even when we have a great church, and I must admit, I was blessed to pastor some great churches. My church here in Denver, would remember my birthday and pastors appreciation and Christmas. And I mean, they would do great things. I have no complaints there. As I tell you, I have no complaints, for the overwhelming portion of my ministry. And the parts where I do have complaints, the more I reflect upon it, it was really more about my own emotional immaturity than it was the congregation, because, congregations are who they are. So they did what they did. And it was my lack of emotional maturity being able to deal with them doing what they do. But pastors need support. So one of the things, of course, that UnBoxed is doing is we are developing a pastor support group. And if you're interested in the pastor support group, then I want you to check out the website. I'm going to put up a slide for you real quick here. And then I want you to check out this website. It's swgunboxed.org/pastor support. If you want to learn more about the support groups that we're beginning to develop and you want to join, we keep them small, 10 and less. They are in 12-week sessions. As well as 3 personal coaching sessions, one-to-one coaching sessions that you get with me as a part of the package. And so you can learn more about that. And I'll be sharing more as we move along. But, pastors need that safe space, that safe place where they can talk about their fears. But another thing that pastors need, and this is one of the biggest challenges that I have discovered with leaders of all kinds, whether they are corporate leaders, executive directors of community or nonprofit organizations, or pastors. And that is, we spend so much time focusing on building our organization, building our companies, building whatever it may be. And we're not spending enough time really pursuing our own life goals and making sure that we're reaching our own life goals. And sometimes what happens a lot of times with pastors, especially, is we neglect our family, we neglect our life goals. And then we hit this little stage in our life where we say, you know what, I have been missing out on so much. I'm just going to leave congregational leadership altogether so that I can do me. But before you get to that place, let's talk about how you can do you and build the organization. It's not an either or proposition. It can actually be a both and. You can pursue your life goals. And I'm not just talking about, and I know this is what I did. I went and got my doctorate degree and all those other things and got various certifications and whatnot. But I realized I was actually doing that to bolster my skill level within the organization, not necessarily because that's what I wanted to do. And it's just my own personal life goal. But, how do I pursue my own interests, pursue my own passions and love, apart from building the organization, apart from trying to do that so that I can be better in the organization, but just so that I can be the better me? How do we manage that work and social and home life balance that is so delicate? This is a place where, when like-minded individuals come together and have these conversations where we can, attempt to build each other up. And so I want to encourage you again to check out our website. The web address is right here on the screen, and then you can click on support groups and learn more about that as well. Listen, pastors need support, and UnBoxed wants to be there to be a support for you. And I want you to begin thinking, and last thing I'll share, I want you to begin thinking about how you can do better, at taking care of yourself. Until we meet the next time, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you back here again as we unbox all the power and the potential of healthy relationships and a healthier you.
Seasoned with Grace, UnBoxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.